Welcome to the website for Erickson Institute's Early Development Instrument project. For best viewing of this site, please use your desktop computer, which allows you to access all of the site's features. The Early Development Instrument, or EDI for short, is a population measure that tells us how kindergarten children are developing in relation to their community and the resources available to them. This data is collected by kindergarten teachers and helps communities make informed decisions to improve local resources that prepare young children for kindergarten. It's important to remember that data tell just one part of the story. The other part is the context or details that come from those who live and work in the areas where data is collected. In a minute, I'll show you where you can contact communities directly to get an understanding of their perspective. All Illinois communities that collected data using the EDI are listed on this homepage. Simply scroll and select the community whose data you want to view. This brings you to the map page, where you'll see a map along with a panel on the right that allows you to navigate different sets of data. Before we dive in, I want to bring your attention to this Read More link beside the community name. As I mentioned before, data is best when you understand the local perspective. Click on this link to learn why the community is using EDI data and who to contact for more information. Now, let's focus on the map. EDI data is typically collected every 3 years, and it's important to note that some communities have already had a couple rounds of data collection, and some have not. At the top right of the panel, you'll see the option to select the data year. For this community, we'll be looking at data collected in 2019. Another feature is pinning a specific location on the map. Once you enter an address, a pin is dropped, allowing you to easily identify the data in relation to that address. Now let's play with the data. The EDI captures data in select categories, which we call domains, and displays that data in the form of a map. EDI maps show data for children who meet the threshold for vulnerable in one or more domains: physical health and well-being, social competence, emotional maturity, language and cognitive development, and communication skills and general knowledge. Notice, as different domains are selected, the color shading on the map changes with it. For definitions on the domains, click the Resource drop-down menu at the top navigation bar. The map shading shows the percentage of children who met the threshold for vulnerable in the domain, meaning that they could be less likely to meet developmental and academic expectations, and without interventions, they may experience increased challenges. So looking at the legend, the lighter the shading on the map, the lower percent of children who met the threshold for vulnerable. You could presume that children are doing relatively well in that neighborhood, but remember, data is only one part of the story. Learning about what is actually happening in the neighborhood is key to getting the full picture. To dive deeper into the data for a specific neighborhood, you can zoom in on the map and click a specific neighborhood. A small pop-up window will show you more detail. The View Details link in this window will take you to a page with all the data points for that particular neighborhood. The EDI defines a resource as any local program, institution, or funding that contributes to a child's development. This site allows you to layer resources located throughout a community on top of these shaded maps. Select the resource you want to see and use the on-off switch to layer that data on top of the map. If you hover over any of the icons, it will show you the name of the organization and its address. You can also mix and match. So if you want to see how children are developing in the physical health and well-being domain, along with what recreation resources are available in that area, you can do that, giving you a better look at the landscape. A quick note though, the type of resources available are determined by the community, so they will differ from one community to the next. There's also the option to layer even more data, such as census information and local data, by going to the Other Data Sources section and selecting what you want to see. Again, the types of data you see in this section are determined by the community, so they will differ from one community to the next. Explore this data, as well as other resources available under our Resources tab to learn more about the EDI and how to make the data actionable. These include Turning EDI Data into Action, where you'll find examples of how people in the communities have used this data. Understanding the Results, which gives you more technical information about the EDI. EDI Inquiry Questions, which you can use when thinking and reflecting on the data. Our Tools and FAQs, which has fact sheets, videos, and a link where you can let us know how EDI data is being used in your community. And our Press page, which holds stories about movements happening across Illinois communities centered on this EDI data. Thank you for watching, and have fun exploring this data.